Okay, what we're going to do is we are going to do potato gnocchi. Potato gnocchi. So what I've done is I've taken some potatoes, literally washed them and baked them. All right, I want to bake them until they're knife tip tender in the middle. I'm going to go ahead and cut them in half so you guys can see over here, right there. I'm going to go ahead and cut them in half. All right, grab a knife. I'm going to cut these in half. Now, what you can do at home if you don't have a potato ricer is you can actually just peel these real quick and then rice them with the back of a fork or whatever, all right? I'm actually going to use a potato ricer. It actually makes it more fluffy. Let me move you guys a little bit now. All right, you guys can see now. Okay, so can you see the potatoes? All right, so we're going to work right here on this edge of the table so you guys can see. And I'm going to take this is called a ricer, right? You guys can see, ricer. What I'm going to do is put the potato in there and rice it out like that. Okay, I'm going to remove the skin out and rice this one. Okay, I'm doing actually 3 medium-sized Idaho Baker potatoes. You want to use the Idaho Baker potatoes because they have a good starch content. You don't want to use a waxy potato like a Yukon Gold or anything like that. You want to use a nice starchy potato like an Idaho Russet potato, all right? So we go ahead and do that. We got them almost all riced out here. Just squeeze it. And I'm not wearing gloves because of the fact that, first of all, I need to feel the gnocchi. And then second of all, it is because it's going to go into boiling water anyway, right? So, all right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take that's been riced onto my table. Everybody see? Okay, so the potato's been riced onto the table here. All right, and my other ingredients now are eggs. I got 2 eggs. So I got 3 potatoes, 2 eggs. I got a little Parmesan cheese. And I got flour. I got a cup of flour plus a little bit more, right? And then also some salt. So I'm going to go ahead and season these with salt first. Season it with salt first. I'm going to be careful with the salt because the Parmesan cheese is a little salty already. Then I'm going to go ahead and put in a good amount of flour, like almost a half a cup of flour. So this recipe actually calls for 1 cup of flour. I'm going to go ahead and use a little more than a cup because I want to dust the table later so that it doesn't stick to the table, right? So I put a lot of, all right, then I put the eggs in, almost all of them, all right, and I'm going to make sure that they don't fall on the table, and I'm going to just continue, I'm going to mix them up a little bit. Mix it up. So I'm mixing it up with my fork at this point, and then I'm going to switch over to use my fingers after that, right? So I go ahead and mix these up. I'm working fast. I don't want to overmix either. All right, so I'm working fast. I want the potatoes to stay nice and warm. If I'm working with them while they're warm, it's going to react with the flour and with the eggs really, really well. All right, so I go ahead and do that. I'm putting in my Parmesan cheese. I'm using about a 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. I have some more Parmesan cheese here because of the fact that I want to saute them later on. I'm going to show you how we're going to saute them up later on. So now I'm going to use this bench scraper and I'm just going to kind of lift everything up from the bottom, and then I'm just going to mix it with my hands. All right, I'm going to knead this together. Now again, you want to knead it together until it's just until it's kneaded, and then stop mixing. All right, in New York we say enough already. You mix it until it's mixed, and then enough already. All right, that's what we say in New York. I'm trying to be funny. I don't know. So anyway, all right, so we're going to go ahead and mix this potato mixture up. Again, it's flour, salt, eggs, and potato, right? So, and what we're doing is we're making the gnocchis. It's spelled with a G, right? Gnocchi. All right, so I have that done. Everything's together. I mixed it until it's together. I'm not over mixing, right? A little more flour over here, a little more flour on the bottom, okay? And then this way it won't stick together because it is still kind of sticky, right? Then I'm going to cut it in half, and then each half in half again, like that. Everybody see me? All right, you can see it? Then what I'm going to do is separate it out. I'm going to squeeze it, and I'm going to roll it. Squeeze it, roll it. Squeeze it, and roll it. Again, I'm going to roll it into about a 3/4 of an inch to a 1/2 inch little round cylinder there, right? So I do 1, and then 2. You can see good in the video there, all right? So 2, and then a little more flour. Again, it's a little messy, this job, but you know, it's worth it. I'll tell you, it's delicious. Everybody loves a good gnocchis, right? Now you can also do this ahead of time. and then freeze them individually quick frozen. So freeze it on a sheet pan or whatever separate. And then you can take them and put them in Ziploc baggies or whatever. And when your guests come over, then you can pop it in the boiling salted water from there, right? Okay. All right. So there we go. We got. I have 4 cylindrical shapes of potato gnocchi dough. Again, more flour down so it don't stick, right? More flour. And then I'm going to just go ahead and take that bench scraper and I'm going to cut and flick, cut and flick, cut and flick. Everybody sees how I'm doing that? And I'm only making small, little, tiny little cup, maybe 10-gram pieces, all right? So cut and flick. The reason why I'm flicking is because I want them to be separate. I want them to get dusted with that flour, that excess flour, and to become separate. I'm just going to go ahead and cut them all, right? Just like that, right? Again, dust a little more flour on top of them if you need to, right? Cut them all. And then what I'm going to do, move this over to the side. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a sheet tray. I'm going to take some flour and spread it onto the sheet tray. All right, everybody can still see that? Yep, it's in the video there. Good. Everyone can see it's in the video. All right. So and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the back of a fork. So I used that fork already. I'm going to take that back of the fork, and I'm going to, and I'll go slow here. You want to place on the back of the fork a small piece of the gnocchi dough. Then with your thumb, you want to make a little indentation with the dough, and then roll it. You see that? So it's hollow inside, it's round, it's plump, it has little ridges on there. I'll do it again over here closer to you guys. So I, right on the back of the fork, little indentation with my thumb, and then roll it over. All right? You can actually use, they have these gnocchi boards that you can actually buy, Sur La Table, Williams and Sonoma. You can buy them on Amazon.com. You can actually get a little gnocchi board. And that be the case, you just go ahead and roll it over the ridges on the gnocchi board, and you can do the same thing. So I've gone ahead and made a bunch of gnocchis here. All right, so I've gone ahead and make a bunch of gnocchis here, rolling it. You want to do this while it's still warm, right? So that those gnocchis come out perfect, nice and plump, right? Plump, hollow, ridged gnocchis, right? So everybody can see that. Okay, and we're just going to keep them like this. Again, you can actually take this now and put it in your freezer. And then again, after they freeze individually quick frozen, you can put them in Ziploc baggies or whatever. I've gone ahead, right before I started this video, I went ahead and made some already. So, so I'm just going to quickly wash my hands here. And then what we're going to do is we are going to show you how to finish this, right? So I have, on the side, I have some water boiling over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put some salt in the water. You always want to, especially when you're cooking pasta, gnocchis, whatever, you want to put some salt in the water. Right, so I got some salt going in the water here. Right, good amount. You want it to taste like the sea, right? You want it to taste like the sea. Right? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the gnocchis, and again, here I have a bunch of gnocchis that we made ahead of time. Can everybody see that? And what I'm going to do is use that bench scraper and just carefully place them into the water. All right, carefully place them into the water. Meantime, I also have a pan that I'm going to put on high heat. So I'm going to drop my gnocchis in the water a little bit at a time. So I don't want them to clump together. Very, very careful to not clump them together. That they all go in there separately. All right, and the boiling salted water, they should rise to the top when they're finished, right? So it shouldn't take too long, maybe 3-4 minutes tops, right? To come together, right? Plump together in the top. All right, so I'll set that aside there. I want to get a couple of bowls nearby because I'm going to let me turn this. You guys can see. All right, there we go. You guys see now? All right. So we got a couple of bowls nearby. I have a saute pan here. I also have the water boiling, and I have the gnocchis in the pot. I have a little spider here that will help me remove them from the pot when they float, right? They're not floating yet. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to make a little brown butter. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some butter, and again, this is going to be the sauce. You can actually use heavy cream or make a cream sauce. You can use pesto, make a pesto sauce. It's endless what you can do with this, right? So I'm actually going to use some whole butter. Seems like a lot of butter, but it's the sauce, right? So I got the whole butter. I also have I have some mushrooms here. So I've just gone ahead and sliced them. All right, I have some sage leaves. These are from my garden outside, so we have some sage leaves. And I also have some garlic. I've slivered it. See how I slivered that garlic? Kind of like the, what's that movie? Goodfellas, right? The Goodfellas style. You slice the garlic paper thin with the razor blade so it melts in the pan, right? I don't know if I'm sounding like anybody from the Goodfellas, but so I have all right, so I have the butter in the pan. I want to make sure that I'm going to go ahead and put in my mushrooms now and saute those up in the brown butter, right? Saute those up in the brown butter there. I want to sprinkle them around so that they kind of have like a level, even, level surface on there. Again, sprinkle in my garlic now, right? How much garlic? Oh my gosh, how much garlic do you like, right? I used about 3 cloves, and again, I took my time and I sliced them paper thin. If you don't have the ability to slice them paper thin, do me a favor and just mince it really, really fine, okay? So now I am allowing the mushrooms to cook a little bit in that brown butter. If you can smell this right now, the garlic, the mushrooms, the earthy flavors of the mushrooms, the toasty, nutty aroma of the butter. It's unbelievable. So this is looking really, really good right now. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just season a little bit right now. Again, remember, I'm not going to season too much with my salt because I'm going to put Parmesan cheese in later, and that's a little salty. But I'm going to put a little salt and a little bit of freshly cracked black pepper. Right. So this is the pepper. I'm going to make sure that I have a good amount of pepper in there. Right. My father, I grew up in the restaurant business. My father used to say, "Make it spicy. They'll drink more. And make more money on the booze." Right. So you make it a little bit spicy with the pepper. And then you can make more money in your restaurant, right? Okay. So, all right, now, if you can see, we have the gnocchis and they are floating. They're floating beautifully in the pot. All right, it's been about 2.5, 3 minutes or so. I'm going to give them another minute. That'll enable my butter to get nice and brown and my mushrooms to toast up a little bit, get a little bit crispy on there. Okay, and I have my Parmesan cheese nearby. And I'm going to very, very carefully, again, I'm dealing with water and I'm dealing with open flame and a little bit of fat. So very, very carefully, I'm going to take the gnocchis and I'm going to drain them well, and I'm going to toss them right into the pan here. Remember, this is Italian food, right? So I don't know how many of you have had Chef Passin, right? He's the Italian chef over there. Anyway, at LA Trade Tech, but all right. So you want to maybe sing some Italian songs, right? Oh sole mio, ai l'amore. All right, and then what we're going to do is, again, you can take a spoon and gently. I'm just going to go ahead and flip and toss. As I'm doing that, I'm going to go ahead and tear some sage leaves in there. Right? Oh man, you smell that sage. Right? It's amazing. You can actually use fresh basil. You could garnish with a lot of other things. You're only limited by your own imagination when you're dealing with the gnocchis. All right, there's many, many different recipes, a couple of which are in your textbook, right, online. You can actually ask me. I can send you a bunch. I have a whole, we used to do a gnocchi class at my recreational cooking school. And so we used to do like maybe 8 or 10 different gnocchi recipes. Okay, oh wow, look at that. So it's totally covered and coated lightly with the butter, right? And it's nice and toasted brown. I'm allowing the gnocchis to get a slight crispiness on the bottom. I have the mushrooms in there, the sage leaves in there. I have a little bit of salt in there. I'm going to finish at the last minute with the Parmesan cheese, and then I'm going to plate it, right? So this is going to be amazing. I wish you guys could come over and enjoy lunch with us this afternoon. We're going to have the beautiful potato gnocchis. All right, so I have Parmesan cheese going in. And this is a Parmigiano Reggiano cheese, and I grated it really, really fine this afternoon. You can actually grate it with like a potato peeler or whatever, make like nice flakes of Parmesan cheese if you like. All right, so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and plate this now. So again, oh, good, beautiful separate gnocchis. Right, you don't. Again, this is going to be an appetizer. You could be an entree as well. You could serve it with a piece of chicken or with a sautéed salmon fillet or rack of lamb or something like that. You could serve this right on the side. But to do an appetizer portion, we're not going to do too much. Maybe 3-4 ounces, just like this. All right. So we have. I'm going to leave it right here. So we have the gnocchis going in the pan, going in the bowl. All right. Ooh. gosh, this smells so good. All right, and then we're gonna put a little more Parmesan cheese on top, okay, on both. And again, we're gonna take a little bit of the sage leaves. I have, and you know, why not? You're gonna garnish. Remember we talked about non-functional garnishes or NFGs. You want to avoid those, but wow, it allows the guests to see that there's sage in there, right? And they can smell the garlic and all that stuff. So this will make it a beautiful, beautiful entree, right, for everyone to try. All right, so here we go. Here's our gnocchis. You want to try some? All right, and I'm going to try some right now, real quick. All right, so nice toasty butter. It's not too much butter. It's not too greasy, right? I got that gnocchi's perfectly cooked. Oh my God, my knees are buckling. Unbelievable. All right, very good. Thank you.